Everyone thinks boat engines wear out with time, until one old Yanmar refuses to quit. Since 1987, it's logged over 12,000 hours. 4 owners later, it still starts on the first turn like it's brand new. Most diesels die from corrosion, heat, or neglect, but a few just don't. Today, we're looking at 15 boat engines that outlive their boats, their owners, and sometimes even their manufacturers. The machines that simply refuse to die. Let's fire them up. Let's start with the engine that refuses to die. The Yanmar 4JH series is practically immortal. This is a 4-cylinder cast iron marine diesel that's been the standard in sailboats and workboats for decades. The architecture is simple, overbuilt, and designed to run at relatively low RPM for hours on end. Many owners report over 10,000 hours with nothing more than routine service. Oil changes, impeller replacements, basic maintenance. What makes the 4JH special comes down to design philosophy. Yanmar built these as commercial engines first, recreational engines second, heavy castings, conservative power ratings. Everything is larger than it needs to be for the advertised horsepower. The result? An engine that spends its entire working life operating well below its stress limits. Parts availability stays excellent even for older models, and the service network spans the globe. You can get a Yanmar service in the Caribbean, the Mediterranean, the South Pacific. That matters when you're trusting this engine to get you somewhere remote. Next up, the truck engine that found a second life at sea, the Cummins 6BT 5.9. It started life as a heavy-duty truck and industrial engine before being adapted for marine use. That industrial heritage means it was designed for continuous operation under heavy load, exactly what marine applications demand. This is a rebuildable engine in the truest sense. When you hit 10,000 hours, which many well-maintained examples do, you can overhaul it completely and expect another 10,000. The parts network for the 6BT is exceptional because it shares components with millions of land-based applications. Need an injector in the middle of nowhere? Chances are a truck shop nearby has one that'll work. The engine's architecture is straightforward enough that competent diesel mechanics can work on it even if they've never touched a marine installation before. That accessibility, combined with proven durability, makes the 6BT one of the most trusted conversions in the marine diesel world. Then there's the one old sailors still swear by, Perkins 4.236. If diesel engines had a hall of fame, this one would be front and center. It is the classic trawler engine. Overbuilt cast iron design from an era when engines were sized for longevity rather than weight savings. Many boats running the 4.236 report 20,000 hours across multiple rebuild cycles. That's not a typo. 20,000 hours. At average cruising speed, that's enough to circumnavigate the globe multiple times. What makes the Perkins last comes down to simplicity. Mechanical injection, no complex electronics, no emissions equipment that can fail, just iron, steel and diesel fuel. Parts availability remains good, even though production ended years ago because so many of these engines are still in service. The marine community has kept them alive through aftermarket support and accumulated knowledge. If something breaks on a 4.236, someone somewhere has already fixed it and documented how. Now meet the quiet giant built for endless hours. The Caterpillar C18. You'll find it in yachts, tugboats and commercial rigs that never stop running. This engine was designed for continuous duty in mining equipment, generators and industrial applications where failure means massive financial loss. When adapted for marine use in larger yachts and workboats, that duty cycle design translates to exceptional longevity. Commercial operators running C18s report multi-10,000-hour lifespans when maintained to schedule. The key phrase there is maintained to schedule. These engines demand proper service, but when they get it, they deliver reliability that justifies their cost. The Caterpillar dealer network provides global support, and the company's commitment to parts availability for older engines means you can keep a C18 running for decades. Here's where modern engineering actually gets durability right. The Volvo Penta D4 series, particularly the D4 260 line. This brings truck and industrial heritage to the marine world. These engines use closed cooling systems that protect internal components from saltwater corrosion, one of the major killers of marine marine engines. In service boat and patrol boat roles, operators commonly report several thousand hours before major overhauls become necessary. The D4's architecture emphasizes serviceability. Components are accessible. Maintenance intervals are clearly documented. The engine management system provides diagnostic information that helps prevent small problems from becoming catastrophic failures. Volvo's global marine network means support exists in most major boating regions. The D4 represents modern diesel design done right, sophisticated enough to be efficient, simple enough to be reliable. And Yanmar didn't stop there. Their newer diesels kept the legacy alive. Beyond the legendary 4JH, Yanmar as a brand has built a reputation for multi-thousand-hour engines across their entire lineup. The company's focus on marine-specific design, rather than just adapting automotive or industrial engines, shows in their longevity. Owners routinely cite 8,000 to 10,000 hours as achievable targets with proper maintenance. What sets Yanmar apart is their understanding of the marine environment. Engines sit for long periods, then run hard. They operate in salt air. They experience constant vibration. Yanmar designs for these conditions from the ground up. Cooling. Systems sized for worst-case scenarios, corrosion-resistant materials in critical areas, conservative power ratings that keep stress levels manageable. The result is a product line where exceptional longevity has become the expectation rather than the exception. Let's move topside. Some outboards have earned their own legend because not every survivor lives below deck. Some hang right off the transom, humming away day after day in salt, sun, and spray. And somehow just keep going. Start with the one designed to work every single day. Mercury's C-Pro line, particularly the 15 to 60 horsepower range, was engineered specifically for commercial hours. These aren't recreational engines with a commercial label slapped on. They have strengthened mounts, enhanced corrosion resistance, and components sized for constant use. Mercury positions C-Pro as commercial grade with long life and heavy-duty construction because guide services and rental fleets demand engines that keep running season after season. The C-Pro's architecture addresses the weak points that kill recreational outboards early. Heavier duty gear cases, improved cooling systems, more robust electrical components. When a fishing guide runs an outboard 8 hours a day, 6 days a week, those improvements make the difference between an engine that lasts 2 seasons and one that lasts 5 or more. Then, the two-stroke everyone thought would fade, but never did. The Evinrude E-Tech. Before Evinrude shut down, these direct injection two-strokes proved two things. They could run clean and they could last. When used and maintained properly, E-Techs have documented track records in commercial applications with many owner reports of 2,500 to 6,000 plus hours. The E-Tech design reduced some wear points found in older two-strokes. Direct injection meant more precise fuel delivery and less raw fuel washing oil off cylinder walls. The computer-controlled oil injection system ensured proper lubrication across all operating conditions. While the brand no longer exists, the engines in service continue proving that the technology was sound. Parts availability through remaining dealers and the aftermarket keeps these engines viable for years to come. Ask any charter captain which engine they trust, and this is the answer. The Yamaha F150 and F200 4-stroke series represents robust outboard architecture widely used in water taxis and workboats. Many owners and Yamaha documentation place well-maintained examples into the 3,000 to 5,000 hour range. That's exceptional for an outboard where 2,000 hours often marks the beginning of major maintenance. The F150 F200 family benefits from Yamaha's decades of 4-stroke experience. These engines use automotive-grade internal components, sophisticated cooling systems, and timing systems designed for long-term reliability. The parts network remains excellent, and aftermarket support means you can keep these engines running long after warranty periods expire. Commercial operators choose them because downtime costs money, and these engines minimize downtime. Quiet, clean, and shockingly long-lived. That's the Honda way. Honda's BF series outboards, like the BF90, bring automotive engineering principles to marine applications. Honda emphasizes longevity, corrosion protection, and electronic fuel injection across their marine line. Fleet use examples show thousands of hours with low failure rates, validating Honda's reputation for building things that last. What makes Honda outboards special is attention to detail. Sacrificial anodes placed in strategic locations, stainless steel and corrosion-resistant alloys in critical components, fuel injection systems that ensure clean combustion and minimize carbon buildup. These engines cost more initially, but that premium buys engineering that extends service life significantly beyond budget alternatives. This one proves endurance and power can share the same badge. The Suzuki DF140A and DF140 series have proven themselves in charter fleets and long-haul commercial work, where cooling and timing systems see constant stress. Many operators report 3,000 hours and beyond with basic maintenance. The DF140's architecture emphasizes thermal management and oil delivery, two critical factors in outboard longevity. Suzuki designed these engines with commercial use in mind, even though they're marketed to both recreational and commercial buyers. Heavier internal components, robust lower units. Cooling systems are sized generously. When charter operations and fishing guides consistently choose an engine, you know the reliability is there. These operators can't afford regular breakdowns, and the DF140 delivers the uptime they need. Small but relentless, these trolling engines just don't quit. The Mercury 9.9 Pro Kicker and similar small commercial kickers represent simple construction and overbuilt design. Often used at low RPM for trolling and guiding work, these engines accumulate hours in the most benign operating conditions possible. Longevity gets documented by guiding fleets and heavy recreational users who run these motors constantly at displacement speeds. Low RPM operation means low stress. Components last longer when they're not working at their limits. The 9.9 Pro Kicker's design takes advantage of this by building in extra durability that might be overkill for recreational use, but becomes essential for commercial applications. Simple carbureted versions remain popular because they eliminate electronic complexity, though EFI models offer improved fuel economy and easier starting. And for the sailors' backups and dinghies, meet the tiny motors that never fail. Tohatsu's small four-stroke lineup, like the MFS 9.8, delivers simple, reliable performance with long replacement parts availability. These engines are favoured as lightweight, durable portable motors for dinghies, small fishing boats, and backup power. The architecture stays deliberately simple, which aids both reliability and serviceability. Tohatsu engines often get chosen by cruising sailors as dinghy power because they need to work reliably after sitting unused for weeks, start in rough conditions, and keep running with minimal maintenance. That's a demanding environment, and Tohatsu's reputation in this niche speaks to their fundamental durability. Parts remain available for older models, and the engines are simple enough that competent owners can perform most maintenance themselves. Back in the engine room, the old iron giants are still making noise. Engines like the Detroit Diesel 8V92 are the reason marine mechanics have grease-stained nostalgia. These two-stroke diesels are rebuildable forever. Many examples remain in sport fishing service with tens of thousands of hours across multiple rebuilds. The 8V92's longevity comes from its industrial origins and rebuild-friendly design. The parts network, while not what it once was, still functions because so many of these engines remain in service. Mechanics who understand Detroit diesels are getting harder to find, but the engines themselves continue running in boats that might have been repowered twice over with less durable alternatives. Then, there's the Beta Marine engine. This engine uses industrial Kubota blocks marinized for boat applications. These have become popular among blue water cruisers because of simple, serviceable architecture and long life reported by live-aboard sailors. The industrial base means the engine was designed for stationary power or agricultural use, applications that demand reliability above all else. Cruising sailors choose Beta engines because they can be serviced anywhere in the world. The Kubota base means parts are available even in remote locations where marine-specific components might be impossible to find. The marinization package from Beta adds proper cooling, vibration damping, and marine-specific accessories while preserving the industrial engine's fundamental durability. Sailors report thousands of hours of trouble-free operation, exactly what you want when you're depending on your engine in the middle of an ocean. So what do all these survivors actually have in common? Look at this list and patterns emerge. Most are diesels because diesel architecture fundamentally lasts longer than gasoline. Compression ignition, no spark plugs to fail, heavier construction, lower RPM operation. The marine diesels on this list share another trait. They're sized conservatively. The power ratings are modest relative to displacement, which means they spend their working lives operating well below their stress limits. The outboards that make this list share different traits. They come from manufacturers with long-term parts commitments. They use corrosion-resistant materials extensively. They're designed with serviceability in mind. And crucially, many are used in commercial applications where real-world durability gets proven daily. Another commonality, simplicity or sophistication applied correctly. The Perkins 4.236 succeeds through simplicity. No electronics to fail, mechanical everything. The Volvo D4 succeeds through sophisticated design that includes proper diagnostics and protection systems. Both approaches work when executed well. Here's what that means if you're choosing your next engine. If you're choosing a boat engine and longevity matters to you, here's what to take from this list. First, proven track records matter more than marketing claims. Every engine manufacturer promises reliability. The engines on this list have delivered it over decades and tens of thousands of hours. Second, parts availability and service network are as important as the engine itself. The best engine in the world becomes worthless if you can't get parts or find mechanics who know how to work on it. The engines on this list all have established support networks, even the legacy models. Third, proper maintenance makes or breaks longevity. None of these engines will last if you neglect oil changes, ignore cooling system service, or skip manufacturer-recommended maintenance. They'll last longer than engines with less robust design, but they're not magic. They require care. Fourth, consider your use case. Oh, commercial-grade engine makes sense if you're running high hours. For weekend recreational use, you might not need the heavy-duty construction these engines provide. But if you're cruising, fishing seriously, or planning to keep your boat for decades, choosing an engine known for longevity pays dividends long-term. These 15 engines represent the best of marine propulsion durability. They come from different eras, different design philosophies, and different applications. But they share one critical trait: they refuse to die. When properly maintained, they outlast the boats they're installed in. They get pulled from one boat and installed in another because they're too good to scrap. What engine are you running? How many hours do you have on it? Drop it in the comments. Real-world data from actual boaters helps everyone make better decisions. Thanks for watching.